Today's social media segment is brought to you by Terrebonne General Health System. Your health is our legacy. Rouse's, you're either local or you're not. Buick, the craft of modern luxury. St. Martin and Bork, know your rights.
Hello and welcome to this edition of Bayou Time. I'm your host, Keith Weissite, licensed clinical social worker with Terrebonne Home Care. Very glad you're joining us. However you may be joining us, we appreciate it. And I'm always glad to have my friend and colleague joining us to give us updates about what's happening here in our community. Blake Tabor, of course, Terrebonne Parish Sheriff's Office. Thanks for joining us, man.
Thanks for having me, as always.
We appreciate it. I always forget it's First Lieutenant Blake.
That's right.
So, Blake, we got a lot of things going on. Let's talk a little bit about this woman that was arrested in this juvenile sex investigation.
Yeah, so, this one has kind of garnered some pretty interesting comments on our social media. But
Sure.
This came to be known while our patrol division was handling a complaint. So, ultimately, the suspect in this case had filed a complaint against another unknown person.
Okay.
For making allegations about her on Snapchat. So during the course of investigating that particular investigation, it was learned that she was having some inappropriate contact with a 16-year-old male subject. So in a nutshell, she somewhat told on herself, if you will, and it was revealed through that investigation. So again, the Special Victims Unit got involved very quickly with this. And again, we were able to substantiate some pretty serious information and confirm that a sexual relationship was occurring between the 16-year-old male and Heather Renee Billiot, a 31-year-old female from Houma. You see her photographed here. Ultimately, that culminated in her being arrested for carnal knowledge of a juvenile in connection with the investigation. It's also important for me to add that we also gained some additional evidence through the course of this investigation, which also pointed in the direction of confirming that this incident took place.
Okay. And so it's amazing to me that somebody, you think about how this started with her, and maybe it's just poor decision making, reporting that somebody is saying negative things about her on Snapchat.
Absolutely.
Start investigating, and now we realize that because of that, there's been this inappropriate confirmed relationship with someone under the age that's appropriate to have sex with.
Absolutely. And look, and I think this is the power of social media. We talk about it all the time, right?
Yeah, this is when it can be helpful to us.
Absolutely. And at the same time, two rights don't make a wrong.
Right.
Two wrongs don't make a right.
Right.
So ultimately, she is jailed. She's on a $10,000 bond, which again, that also has garnered some comments.
Right.
This particular topic always seems to be a funny topic to some people. Under no way, shape, or form do we promote this type of behavior. And there is a lot of circumstances that go along with this case that, of course, we're not going to reveal. But it was extremely alarming. The juvenile male has been remanded to the custody of DCFS, the Department of Child and Family Services.
Okay.
So he is, for all intents and purposes, safe at this point.
And taken care of, and we're going to follow through. And fortunately, we have programs that can help with any residual issues that come from
Absolutely.
that. So another situation that we had, the joint narcotics investigation with the Terrebonne Parish Sheriff's Office and several others, right?
Absolutely. So this was a case that involved our narcotics division. It also involved our intelligence unit and also the Houma Police Department narcotics unit. So this saw the arrest of a Kendall Alexander Maryland, 32-year-old male, and also Anita Lynn Banks, a 31-year-old female.
There's Kendall and there's Anita.
Yep, you see them photographed here. They were ultimately arrested for multiple felony narcotics-related charges. This kind of came to a head on April 1st. Again, those particular divisions received some anonymous information linking an address in the 1100 block of Honduras Street to some illegal drug activity. Again, as most oftentimes it does, that led to a search warrant being developed and the information being confirmed. Once our agents and investigators arrived at that particular house, they made entry and they located 6 children inside that home ranging from 4 to 12 years of age, which were left unattended by Banks and Maryland. It's important to point out, you see the contraband and the money that was confiscated from the residents.
Right.
This is money and illegal drugs that was located within the house with these children who were unattended by adults. So just to give you some insight as to what you're looking at here, this is basically prescription-based medication in multiple forms, heroin, marijuana, obvious drug paraphernalia, which are directly linked to distribution activities, and more than $12,000 in cash. During the course of this investigation and search warrant, Maryland and Banks were located a short time later and immediately taken into custody. I'm going to read off some of the charges that they were arrested for, and with the understanding that this goes for both. They were both charged with the same identical charges.
Great. Go ahead.
And those are possession with the intent to distribute heroin, possession with the intent to distribute CDS-2, possession with the intent to distribute a CDS-4, possession of CDS-1, illegal use of a controlled drug in the presence of persons under 17. They were both charged with 6 counts. Possession of drug paraphernalia, and also transactions involving proceeds from drug offenses. They are both currently still jailed at our parish jail on a $155,000 bond.
Okay. And again, the sheriff was really proud of the work that was done, right? And it's important that
these guys are incredible. And, you know, we don't talk enough about them. It's impossible to talk about all the good that we do and all the difference that we make in the community, but this is definitely a group of guys who are relentless, and they will do what it takes to make sure that they rid this community of dangerous drugs.
Well, and again, it's the dangerous drugs and these 6 kids that are there unattended with potential for some really negative things to take place. And so very glad that all of that came to light. The kids are okay.
Absolutely.
And being able to kind of take care of them and have these people off the streets where they belong.
That's correct.
Blake, we appreciate your time as always.
Thank you for having me.
All right, guys, and that'll do it for this particular segment. Don't go anywhere. A whole lot more Bayou time when we continue.